Hey gang, today we're getting back to basics. We're going to do classic Clapton. This one is Cream's Strange Brew off their Disraeli Gears album. It's a really fundamental solo to get down for a couple of different reasons. One, just the song itself is great in terms of bridging blues and pop, was really influential in that way. Number two, it has a lot of classic Clapton maneuvers. And number three, because it's influenced so heavily by Albert King, it's got a lot of classic Albert King licks. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video for all the nuances on that kind of stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a demo, then I'll do a slow-mo, we'll go over the sound, and then we'll do a line by line. So here we go with the demo. All right, we're going to do the slow-mo demo now. I'd like to remind you that you can get the tab by clicking in the link below that says Get the Tab in the description of the video. We're going to start out with some pickup notes starting on the G string 7th fret. Here we go. Before we get going on the line by line, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about theory and a little bit about the sound, how I approached that. So the first thing, the theory, this is not difficult harmonically. It's an A blues, and Clapton chose to approach it by using the A minor pentatonic, much as Albert King would have. So all the sounds, whether they're coming from the classic blues box position in A, or whether they're coming up here from a different minor pentatonic or a different A minor pentatonic shape, you know, whether they're there or here, whatever, A minor pentatonic throughout. So pretty straightforward there. Now on the sound. Okay, so on the sound, you know, Clapton was using humbucker guitars back then. He played Gibson, and particularly he played his guitar called The Fool, which was a Gibson SG custom painted, really cool looking. I thought this is the closest guitar I've got to that. It looks kind of funky with this giant pick guard and all that. I'm really digging this Godin, by the way. The other thing was that during that time, he had a famous sound called the woman tone. Now, I don't hear that woman tone so much used on Strange Brew. Usually the woman tone is kind of a thicker sound that he gets by rolling down the tone knobs and usually using the neck pickup. So I didn't do that on this one. It sounds brighter to me, so I used the bridge pickup and I didn't roll off on the tone knobs. But humbucker guitar kind of looks a little bit funky like the 60s. That's how I'm approaching it. All right, let's do the line by line. Okay, here we go with the line by line. We are going to start with the pickup line. Now, I did a whole video on this called Eric Clapton's Secret Turnaround Lick. That's what it is. He used it all over the place in the 60s. It's a really cool lick. If you don't know it, let's learn it. This is a variation of it. He does it twice in this song. Okay, this is in the bread and butter A minor pentatonic position, the pentatonic box, so to speak. Here we go. Couple of quick notes. Obviously, we have a bend on the G string 7th in the beginning. Got to put some vibrato at the end once you get it up there. more controlled than what I just did, hopefully. Tweak that one just a little bit on the G string fifth. And some vibrato at the end there as well. Okay, let's move on to the second line. All right, the next line is some classic Albert King with a 2.5 step bend, if you can believe that. It's not as hard as it sounds, so let's check it out. Okay, second line, we're going to move up to this pentatonic position up here, anchored at the 12th fret. And I think of the A minor shaped chord, that shaped chord, just bringing that all the way up here. That's the way I think about this position. So here we go. Okay, such a classic Albert King style lick. We're going to start out with 14th fret on the G, and then we'll go 13, 15 on the B, and then we'll bend it slowly up and give a whoop at the end, going all the way up 2.5 steps. So we're aiming for that note right there. You hear that? It sounds like a jungle call of a monkey or something. Man, it's so cool. All right. Anyway, all right, so that's what's going on there. Then there's a lot of space that Clapton leaves. A lot of space in this solo, and then plays. That's pure Albert King right there. So we're bending up on the 15th twice. And then this kind of very fast notes here. So that's 13 on the B twice, and then 14 on the G. And then coming back up to the 13 and just tweaking that again. All right, the third line is another classic, and this one's a little bit different, so it has a little bit of a wrinkle. Let's check it out. All right, this one's kind of a reverse Albert King lick, if you will. We're going to start out again on the 15th, on the B string. So you hear, it's very related to the last one that we did. We're going to start out with a bend on the 15th, slowly bring it down, 13 back to 15. And there's two hits on the 14, which is what makes it a little bit different on the G14. Again, we'll hit that 13, trail it off this time. Okay, here's the next line. We're going to go way back down on the fretboard. Again, this is kind of cool. You have to utilize two positions for this one, or I think it's best to, so it's a little bit tricky. Let's check it out. Okay, here's our next line. We're going to start here and slide up. On the G7, we're going to slide up to the G9. Okay, this one is tricky for a couple of different things. First, we're going to do this slide right here, starting on the G7, slide up to 9. And then we'll play B8 and E8. So far, so easy. But now we have to quickly move down to the bread and butter, our blues box position, and play this. Okay, and this is a little bit tricky because we skip a note. So we're playing E string 5, B8, and now G7. 5, and ending on our A, very strong anchor note right there. Play the root. When in doubt, play the root. Sounds good. 3 times. And some nice vibrato on that. And when the time is right, we're going to play this. To end it. So what is this right here? I'm playing G5, hammer on to G6. And I'm skipping a string, playing E5, and coming back to B8 with a little vibrato. So what is that? Well, I'm just outlining basically an A major chord. Here's the major third right here. The C sharp is the major third of an A. And ending up on a flatted seventh of the A, which is the G right here on that B string, 8th fret. Okay, really cool line. Let's check out the rest of it. All right, coming into the home stretch. The next lick, we shift again up into position 10. A lot of position switching in this song. I think it's kind of important because if you're able to do that, it makes all of these lines pretty easy to execute. So anyway, let's check this one out. It's a pretty cool line. All right, here's the line, pretty simple. We're going to start out on the B string 10th, and we're going to bend a lot on the B string 13th, and then hit the E string 10, like so. Check it out. All right, pretty simple. We're going to start out with this almost a unison bend, but we're playing B10, B13, and then we're bending B13 a whole step. Just as we reach that whole step, we're going to cut it off and then play E10, like so. All right, now 6 bends on the B13. And then we'll finish it up with this. All right, the last line, you got it. It's a turnaround, the classic Eric Clapton turnaround lick. Let's take a look at it one more time. I'm just going to play this one slowly. Really requires no explanation. All right, gang. Well, there you go. Classic Clapton, cream strange brew. Can't go wrong, right? Albert King style licks. Can't go wrong with that kind of thing. All right, well, if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, subscribed, and we will see you on down the road.